my traditional beginning. Sunday morning, bloody amazing conditions. Maybe even better than yesterday, and yesterday was spectacular on the bike. I went out with a bunch, well, a very little bunch, a little group, let's call it, a quintet, I'd say. You can do the maths based on that summary. Anyway, I did 3 gorges. Well, I did 3 gorges, the bunch did 2 gorges, and then they went and had coffee and I continued on my own. But it was an opportunity for conversation and consideration and contemplation and observation. So I enjoyed the ride. Thank you, Matt, my neighbour who invited me along to his group. And just some themes developed during the course of that ride, one of which wasn't terribly friendly, and I posted about it. It was the last clip that I took on my ride on Saturday, and it related to a concrete truck driver who came perilously close to me. I will stop just to explain this, because otherwise you'll wonder why a little social media, you may wonder why, a social media post appeared on Ride Media and then vanished. And I'll just go down to this quiet spot and see if I can conjure a little bit of light and a proper summation of the situation. Continuing just to a random spot, here we go. So, concrete truck driver, let me just explain so that I can get it out of my head, and I might raise it again during the course of this ride. But in overview, I was coming up through Crow's Nest, which is a little rise coming back into the city on the Pacific Highway. I don't like being there, but it's a way back into town that you can take, and if you show extreme caution, you might make it through safely. I was showing extreme caution. I was indicating, I was telling drivers if I needed to take the lane, I was explaining that there were parked cars in parking spots and all of this sort of thing was happening. There was a left-hand lane turn. I wanted to go straight. I had the right of way. I was just verging out from the left-hand lane into the middle lane to hold my lane because I was going straight, not turning left. And it's wrong to go straight from the left-hand turning lane. Train going by, background noise. So that all happened, right? And then as I, moved to my rightful spot on the road, a truck driver came within, he didn't brush me. I would say 25 centimetres of my handlebars. And it was a big truck. I don't know if it was fully laden with concrete or not, but it wasn't sort of time to calculate that or work that out or consider that. I was just like, what the hell are you doing right there? You should give me a metre, because a metre, they say, matters. Now, that's the theory, that's the rule, that's the way that they've designed it to be. It's not how it is. Yesterday, the number of times I got passed by a vehicle that was going way closer than a metre was considerable. I should have a cyclic camera on my bike. I regret that. Sorry, Michael Freeberg. If I had the footage of yesterday captured on your handy device, then I would say that there might be a little bit further action to take. As it is, I rolled up to the red light, which was waiting in front of me at this intersection as the concrete truck arrived there more or less at the same time. His window was down on the left-hand side of his vehicle, and I yelled out, "You're an idiot, mate, fair dinkum," or something along those lines. I could have even said the F word, "You fucking idiot," something like that, Anyway, I wasn't trying to be colourful, I was just trying to express my frustration and advise him that, come on, look and consider others. And if you don't have room, either wait or move into a space where there's room. But I was doing it in a really succinct manner. In other words, getting my thoughts out very quickly while I tried to overcome the fright that I'd just had. Then he started to give me one of these, the old "you're a wanker, you're a dickhead" expression from his cab. And I filmed him just so that I had a number of his vehicle, because I thought this guy's a bit loose, a loose cannon, a bit of a nut job. and I want to have the details just in case he tries something. So I did that. Then, when the red light turned to green and I proceeded straight, I had a little bit of a lane that was on my left. It was called a bus lane, and a bike rider is entitled to be there. That's part of the rules of the road in New South Wales. Anyway, so I was in the bus lane, and I thought, this character behind the wheel of this big concrete truck doesn't feel as though he's just going to let this situation pass. So I prepared my camera and I turned it on before I rolled away from the intersection. That's how it happened. And I filmed him as he set off from the traffic lights. And I also filmed him as my camera kicked into action as he began to toot his horn in a threatening manner, I would say. But, you know, like you can toot when you can toot, you can't really justify the tone of it, and you can't really, there's no syntax in it. It's either a loud horn or it's a loud horn. Anyway, he did that, and then as I heard that loud horn, I looked at him, because I was filming over my shoulder like this, and then I looked at him and I noticed that he swerved in deliberately into the bus lane where I was in a threatening manner. He was, there is no doubt in my mind, using his vehicle as a weapon. I sort of, roughly, kinda, didn't feel as though it was going to end in tragedy, largely because I made it very clear to him that I was filming. And if he'd therefore just proceeded to run into me, I would have had the digital evidence on this SD card as I was squished under the wheels and, you know, off on my way up wherever you go afterwards. Anyway, thankfully that didn't happen. But I wonder what would have happened had I not had the camera so prominently shown to illustrate that I was capturing his antics. The worst thing about, there were so many bad things about this situation, I can't even really apply them all to this quick summary, but the truck passed, I was like, oh, that was stupid. I knew that was going to be stupid and there was no way out of it. I looked up, and right next to me on the other side of the road was a cop on a motorbike who sat there doing nothing. Either he was listening to his Spotify or simply not paying attention, because he would have heard the horn and he could have seen the interaction unfold. But he was oblivious to what was going on and he didn't care. Anyway, it struck me as odd that the cop who was right on the scene chose to ignore it. It strikes me as odd that the number of incidents that I've reported with motorists, with video footage, have been ignored.
What do I want to say? I'll fucking show you. I mean, yeah, you want to be a hero? You don't get away to talk to people like you do and not be a fucking hero. If you want to have a go, let's go. Put your bike down and that.
I'm not fighting you.
Well, you want to be a fucking big mouth, you get hurt.
I don't want to fight you.
Well, fuck off then. Don't talk shit to me, bruh.
What, because I'm on the road?
No, because you fucking arced up to me when I said, what do you want the whole road for?
Because I'm right. I'm entitled to be there. It's a road.
Not in the middle of the road.
I can be there.
You've got a fucking meter spot on your left, bruh. You can't take up the whole fucking road.
It strikes me as odd that they maintain this perception of having created a safe environment for cyclists by saying that a metre does matter. Because a metre doesn't matter in Sydney, because it's never policed. I've said it before and I will say it again. It's a dangerous law. It's a false sense of security. It doesn't achieve what it was meant to do, because even the police who I've approached in a quest to get a summary of the number of penalties applied to the minimum passing distance rule were resistant to give that detail. I could go on, but that's an overview of what happened yesterday and why it was on social media and why it's not, because I am going to go to the police and I am going to pursue this and I am going to find out what happens, even if it's just for the sake of this telling, and to try and find a conclusion to a situation which was highly unsatisfactory on a public space, which is a public road. Anyway, another train, another bit of background noise, beautiful sunshine, and happy mood, despite all of what I've just had to explain. Even with that, I still like riding my bike. So I've done it all of my life, and I've done it all of my life with concerns for my life while doing it in Australia. I've also ridden a bike overseas. I lived in Holland for a while, and I don't remember feeling unsafe there. I know that you can bring a cultural change, and I know that it's possible to actually educate motorists and bike riders alike to make it so that the road network functions in a more hospitable manner, for all, more effective manner. But the way that it's managed in Australia, the way that it's managed in Sydney in particular, is just trying to search for the word average. Pathetic, actually. Or dismal. It could be much better. Anyway, you know all that. I know all that. If you're watching this, you're a bike rider, you've probably had that experience. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'm going to go and ride my bike now and enjoy it. I only turned left to Broadway because there was a green arrow, and I thought, yeah, okay, if you insist. So that's where I am. And here's the sunshine. Right on cue.
Ha 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 ha. I didn't plan this, but I will film it. Look at this. See, it's spelled out for you.
You can put it in LED light. That doesn't mean that it's going to be policed. So there is a law. That sign said so. Give at least a metre. That's just lip service. It's bullshit. Anyway, it's an old topic. It's an old theme. I've raised it many times before. Nothing's changed. Nothing will change. So it's not a complaint. It's just highlighting a ludicrous situation, I think.